Welcome back. I am Elasa. I am that I am, Tina Marie Tiernan. I'm here as your soul guide and to share with you what is highest priority, what is possible, is what I've lined up into right now. So I want to really listen to what the collective needs of what is highest priority, and then, just share from the heart what comes up. Be in the flow. So when we're in the heart, we're in the flow. When we're channeling, we are channeling our pure, holiest of holy spirit. When you're channeling your own I am consciousness. Those who trans channel and feel like they're dropping in to other groups or larger packets of entity or teams of light, monadic tribes, ascended masters, teachers, ancestors, then you also need your heart open to be able to channel messages that is beyond your typical faculties of thinking. And when your heart is open, you're going to also make sure you're delivering it from truth and from wholeness and not from a mental perspective of what your lower self, I should say, what the lower self faculties would want to share. So just to start and to get the texture of today, I was going to pull a couple cards, and the first one is Divine Love. And these are also have pink amethyst. They have crystals on them. Divine Love, pink amethyst. Perseverance, the turquoise, Perseverance. And then Intuition with aquamarine. We're also approaching a full moon and an eclipse. And I'm pretty sure it's in Pisces. I had just had that kind of come across my awareness. So the unconscious, deep unconscious. And when we're looking at places of eclipse, when there's extra shadow or taking away the sun or the reflection of the moon's aspects or vibrational tones on the earth, and you happen to be working with those celestials in the dome, then you get extra insight, whether that insight is really super conscious that comes to you, meaning you know what your insight is, or it seems to be situations start to happen in front of you that let you know, like, wow, that was behind the shadow, or what was being eclipsed is really obvious. And so Pisces, the fish, is all about the mysterious, the unconscious itself. What's been deep in your subconscious or unconscious mind that wants to be understood. Because once you understand it, you no longer are ruled by it on autopilot and have your projection of your reality just showing you those things because they're memorized in the unconscious from other timelines, from the patterning of who and how you've shown up here, how you've literally spiraled down into the experience. So when you bring them to light, and you're able to be super conscious on what has been hidden most of your incarnation, or in the now moment, it's obvious. What was hidden is now very obvious. It's like really present. It's a time to kind of clean things up, right? It's almost like a Mercury retrograde when things go backwards and the mind gets paused and slowed down and we get to redo. These eclipses offer us such a deep insight. And we're also approaching the equinox in a couple of days on the 22nd, when the sun and the moon are equal balanced, night and day with the earth. And so it's, again, that bringing things to balance. And I'm pretty sure it's even in Libra. And so that would mean that it's double balance. And so things get, and it's actually, I did happen to read this. I don't typically pay attention so much anymore to the astrology, but I just happened to notice, it came across my awareness on an email, that it was actually 0 degrees Libra. And if I have astrologers on here, I'm sure you can go deeper on all this. I've definitely did study astrology and know how to read charts, but it's not my first and foremost thing right now. But I do know 0 degrees Libra on an equinox means it's like such at a still point, such at a balance, such at a new beginning. So what a powerful time. And when we look at these cards of divine love, perseverance, and intuition, you know, like tapping into our intuition. What truly are we divinely aligned to, and persevere on it, you know? So sometimes things that were held in your unconscious, you maybe didn't know about it, obviously. And so you kept coming up to it again and again, and maybe you couldn't get beyond it. Like yesterday's live was about finding those parallel selves or parallel versions of you now in this incarnation, and parallel selves in other timelines that somehow have a stronger weight or anchor in the field of a lot of your essence. And so it would seem like you can't get to go forward, and the soul's not able to progress because of these heavy weights out in the field of the parallels. Same thing goes with our unconscious. If we don't know about it, then, you know, it's hard to move forward. And so that's where the perseverance comes in. Those of you who are here right now, you've been persevering, and you're here to persevere. This whole journey again and again is to awaken fully and know that you're an eternal soul, that so you stop going in cycles and really rebirth, and literally ascend and ascend and be able to move forward and do your best in every aspect of existence. So you're here to expand, and the things that were not expanding, I mean, they collapse in themselves, were not made of love. And you can even look at that like even reincarnation, like, not to say you weren't of love in those lives that you then had to reincarnate into the next life. It's just typically there was not a lot of consciousness, memory, possibly doing things to their best, every aspect, that then you came back again to do it better. And let me just give it one more try. Let me actually accomplish, you know, and do my best. Let me show up again, and you drop back in. As the ascended masters that have gone before us and beyond time. And if you're finding here and you know you're in you're ready for the ascended state, you're ready for full memory, the reclamation of memory, the reclamation of all your soul essence, to fully be super concentrated here, not out in other places, but really present, meaning you slow down. However, when I get channeling, sometimes I can speak fast, so apologize. But you slow down because you're wanting to really show up and be present. When you're present, you have all your essence super concentrated. When you're thinking about what you got to do in the next room and looking at something, you know, piece of paper while someone's talking to you, you know, you've got 3 different, you know, known things that you're pulling your attention to, and then, you know, things that are beyond that, possibly more. So when you show up as your best, you're fully present, fully conscious, you know you're an eternal soul, you may be stepping into that ascended state, and we again go beyond time and into other realms, which, you know, many of you right here, right now are building out, because you're seeing things whole. You know that all is possible. You know that all eternal souls, you're being an invitation for those to arrive to the new earth, to the new realms. And okay, so that's the beginning of where we're starting out. And it also, I can feel just the texture of what I just said, definitely is of high priority, right? So maybe it's about the high priority is to contemplate and meditate today, tonight, tomorrow rising, and really allow yourself to receive higher message, to ask for higher message before you go to bed, and tell higher self, your higher existence, I want to know anything I need to see, that this type of constellation, or these heavenly, the way things are set up in the experience of the game that we call the dome, how are those celestials, you know, showing you something that was been deeply embedded in your unconscious, that's ready to come to balance, ready to 0 point, ready for you to fully make light of it, or I should say shine light on it. So yeah. And what else would be of high priority? My I am presence that I be for eternity. Knowing who you are and why you are. And so when I say that, knowing who you are beyond identity, so like you may have heard me recently saying, like tapping into new identity, and if I say that, I'm meaning like your highest existence, your highest presence as the I am. And as we get into this source point connection, I am presence, it's again almost beyond identity. You're rising into a higher, almost selfless existence where you know you need to show up, how you're going to show up each now moment, because you're willing to be in the presence, be present, and pay attention to literally what you're bringing in front of you every now moment. And sometimes it's a lot of stillness. I know today I've been, doing several assignments that I was guided one by one, as one's complete. Then I asked within, what do I need to do next? I had a little bit more of an open day to play in this way. And there's been a lot of deep pause, a lot of, not doing, just going, sitting outside, feet barefoot on the ground and sitting in the sun and just opening and holding space. So know who you are and why you are. You're here to be present and to know that you're an eternal light, you're eternal beyond soul, you're pure consciousness. And why are you here? Are you here to be running around and doing the things that you have desires at a lower space? So a good exercise is, what are you lining up to as far as goals? And ask within to your highest intelligence, your I am presence. Is this why I came into this incarnation? Is this desire and this goal actually in alignment with that? And you may find, I just did this exercise, you may find that, half are not. And the other ones, are. So, and the way that the way that your goals were set up, what I just noticed when I asked my own consciousness this assignment, is a lot of doing. And when we drop out of the programming of doing in linear time, and we open up to now into the remembrance that we're actually projecting everything in front of us always, not sometimes, but always. And that it was just the belief that had it in a linear form and doing a lot. We actually remember that we came here to be, and that we came here to allow the beauty to arrive, because we build out in different ways, not a linear, like, cutting down a tree, making planks, putting nails in it. Now that bottom-up approach, it's been obviously working for a long time. But when we look at like the emerald tablets with Thoth, reminds us how all the pyramids were created was from pure thought. When we remember that everything starts with a thought to actually arrive, when we remember that in the ether, the pure consciousness, pure space, which is pure thought at a level, or no thought, that as soon as those thoughts start to spin and particleize into light from details, then it's already built. So coming back, reeling myself back in, know who you are and why you are, why you're here. And a lot of times what we used to look at path and purpose, had a lot of like goals and, you want to open up this business, when really the Most High, although yes, you may be called to open up that because it's going to be of service to all those that are part of the new world or in this now new moment, it's fun to be playing in the play in this way. But the most important is, to be present, to be loving, to be kind, to have fun, to enjoy each other, to enjoy the presence of a flower, of the rose, of, the butterfly flying by, to, keep things looking amazing and feeling amazing within and without, right? Whatever other things that you can tap into of why are you actually here? If you came here to remember that you're an eternal soul, that's a big one. If you came here to right some wrongs or to balance the scales on this equinox and balance places where you in another life literally did all the things that now are happening this life. So typically, you know, it's a balancing act. If another timeline you did things and you get to come back, maybe you're going to be on the other side of that and receiving that. And so there's a huge level of doing inner work to go, if these things that you don't like that are happening to you, finding your hand in it, like, did you do this ever in any other lifetime? If you feel like, well, I've never done this in any timeline or this existence, why is this happening to me? If you find your hand of any timeline that you've ever done it, then maybe you're here to write that and do and receive the understanding of where it began, and then to forgive, and then to see it better. So that the other and you can be better, you've got to be the invitation. You've got to allow these situations that had duality, strong, polarized experiences and actions, you have to actually allow them to be better. So that means you've got to get ahead of it and meditate and, you know that everyone loves you and that you're going to have a great time and everyone respects you and you respect everyone and you include everyone. Right? So it's a wholeness way of thinking and a wholeness way of being. And that could be why you're here. And that does build the new existence of the higher density. So, yeah, I feel like that's complete. Yes. Yes. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I'm looking to do more lives and attend to what's being